For many individuals over the age of 60, the thought of remarrying is not uncommon. It's not about filling a void, it's about rediscovering companionship, emotional connection, and the comfort of sharing life with someone again. However, at this stage of life, marriage is no longer a purely romantic decision. It's a significant life choice that can profoundly impact finances, family dynamics, legal rights, and long-standing personal routines. Far too often, people enter a second marriage without fully understanding the ripple effects it can cause. From reduced social security benefits to uncomfortable shifts in family relationships, the realities of remarriage later in life are far more complex than many anticipate. With over 2 decades of experience working with older adults on matters of health, emotional well-being, and life transitions, the expert has observed one consistent truth. Remarriage after 60 can be incredibly fulfilling, but only when entered with clarity and preparation. There are 5 key truths that every person should know before saying, "I do" again. These truths are not meant to discourage love, but to protect it, to help ensure that any new chapter in life is written with peace of mind, emotional security, and long-term stability. Truth 1. Financial realities shift after 60. One of the most overlooked challenges of remarriage after 60 is the financial impact it can have, not just today, but for years to come. Many people believe that love and companionship are the only factors that matter at this age. But marriage is more than an emotional bond. It's also a legal and financial contract. And if you're not fully informed, it could complicate your retirement plans, alter your benefits, and even disrupt what you intended to leave behind for your children. A common example is Social Security. If someone is receiving benefits based on a deceased or former spouse's record, those payments may be reduced or eliminated altogether after remarriage. That surprise alone can upend a carefully planned retirement budget. Then there are pensions. Many pension plans include survivor benefits that are voided the moment a retiree remarries. Without reviewing the terms carefully, a person could unintentionally forfeit thousands of dollars in future income. Even beyond government and employer benefits, remarriage intertwines 2 financial lives. That includes debts, savings, property, and spending habits. While some couples choose to keep separate accounts, state laws may still dictate how assets are divided if one partner passes away or the relationship ends in divorce. Estate planning also becomes more complicated. Individuals often assume their children will automatically inherit what they've worked hard to build, but remarriage changes legal rights. In many cases, a new spouse may be entitled to a portion of the estate, regardless of what was written in an older will. Consider the case of Robert, a 72-year-old widower who decided to remarry. He had always intended for his 2 children to inherit his home and savings. However, after tying the knot again, he discovered that under state law, his new wife was legally entitled to a significant share of his estate, even if that wasn't his original plan. It took difficult conversations, legal revisions, and estate restructuring to ensure his wishes would be respected. If you're thinking about remarrying, don't underestimate the importance of financial planning. It may not feel romantic, but speaking with a financial advisor or estate planner can help protect your future and the people you care about most. Clarity now can prevent conflict later. Truth 2. Family dynamics become more complicated. Remarrying later in life isn't just about 2 individuals coming together. It often means bringing together 2 entire family histories, sets of expectations, and emotional legacies. While love can create a strong bond between partners, navigating the relationships surrounding that union, especially with adult children and grandchildren, can be unexpectedly challenging. Unlike young couples starting fresh, older adults typically carry decades of family life into a new marriage. Children are grown, grandchildren may already be in the picture, and deeply rooted traditions have been in place for years. These dynamics don't always blend smoothly. Adult children in particular can have mixed feelings. Even when they genuinely want their parent to be happy, they might experience a sense of loyalty to the late spouse or discomfort over how a new partner could alter family traditions, finances, or inheritance plans. Some children may embrace the new relationship, while others may respond with suspicion, distance, or quiet concern. These emotions are natural, but if left unspoken, They can create long-term tension that affects not just the marriage, but the entire family structure. Relationships with grandchildren can shift too. A grandparent who's played a central role in their lives may suddenly introduce a new figure. And while some kids adjust easily, others may feel confused or displaced. The same applies to the new spouse's family, especially if they too have adult children or grandchildren. Expectations can clash, traditions may need to be negotiated, and patience is required from everyone involved. There's also the sensitive topic of inheritance. It's not unusual for adult children to worry that a new spouse could alter financial plans or receive part of what they always assumed would pass down to them. These concerns aren't necessarily driven by greed. They're often rooted in a desire to honor the legacy of a lost parent or to ensure fairness among siblings. Susan, 68, found herself in this exact situation. After more than a decade of being single, she remarried and hoped her children would share in her happiness. Instead, she faced tough questions about her will, how holidays would be spent, and whether she would be moving out of the family home. It took months of open dialogue and reassurance to rebuild comfort and trust within the family. If you're considering remarriage, it's essential to have honest conversations with your loved ones. Be clear about what's changing and what isn't. Listen to their concerns with compassion, but remain firm in your intentions. A marriage built in later life can absolutely coexist with a healthy family structure, but only if boundaries, expectations, and feelings are acknowledged from the start. Truth 3. Emotional expectations are different now. Marriage after 60 carries a different emotional landscape than it did in earlier decades. At this stage in life, most individuals aren't looking to build a future from scratch. Instead, they're seeking meaningful companionship, emotional safety, and a partner to walk alongside, not necessarily someone to reshape their entire world. By now, both partners have developed a strong sense of independence. They likely have well-established routines, personal hobbies, and preferred ways of living. Introducing another person into that rhythm can be both comforting and disruptive, depending on how prepared each individual is for the adjustment. Unlike younger couples who are often focused on building careers, raising children, and accumulating assets, older adults are typically more emotionally self-sufficient. This can be a strength because love is chosen, not dependent, but it can also make compromise more difficult. Questions that once felt unimportant now become central. How much time do you want to spend together each day? Do you want to share a home or maintain separate spaces? How do you resolve disagreements when both people have decades of ingrained habits? Harold, age 75, learned this firsthand. After being widowed, he found a new partner who had been divorced for over a decade. While Harold longed for the familiarity of a deeply connected marriage, his new wife deeply valued her independence. She wasn't looking to merge every aspect of their lives. It took time and patience for them to find a rhythm that honored both their needs. Closeness without suffocation, autonomy without emotional distance. Emotional baggage also plays a role. Past marriages, whether successful or not, leave lasting imprints. The way someone shows affection, communicates, or even interprets silence may be shaped by years of previous experiences. That's not a flaw. It's human nature. But in a second marriage, those histories must be acknowledged with care and compassion. Before remarrying, it's important to ask, what kind of relationship do I want now? Am I looking for daily companionship or simply someone to share special moments with? Am I emotionally ready to bring another person into my carefully curated life? Clear answers to these questions can help ensure that a new marriage doesn't feel like a disruption, but rather a welcome addition to the life you've already built. Truth 4. Legal considerations matter more than you think. When two people fall in love later in life, the emotional connection can feel refreshingly sincere. But beyond the emotional layer lies a hard truth. Marriage is a legal contract, and after 60, the legal implications can be far more complicated than most people realize. From inheritance laws to healthcare decisions, remarriage affects more than just your daily life. It has the power to alter who has legal authority over your finances, property, and even your medical care in times of crisis. Ignoring these matters can lead to confusion, unintended consequences, and even legal battles among loved ones. One of the most immediate legal impacts of remarriage is on estate planning. In many states, a new spouse automatically receives certain rights to a partner's assets, regardless of what's written in an old will. That means if you intended to leave your estate to your children or grandchildren, those plans could be overturned or contested unless properly updated. Many older adults choose to revise their wills, establish living trusts, or create prenuptial agreements before remarrying. These tools aren't about distrust, they're about clarity. They help ensure that each person's wishes are honored and that loved ones are protected from unexpected legal disputes. Healthcare decisions are another area often overlooked. If you become seriously ill or incapacitated, who will speak on your behalf? In most cases, a legal spouse is given priority, even over adult children. If your new spouse and your children hold different views on your care, the situation can become emotionally and legally tense. To prevent this, many experts recommend setting up advance directives and naming a medical power of attorney. These documents clearly outline your wishes and designate the person you trust to carry them out. Consider Eleanor, 67, who had built substantial savings and intended to pass most of it to her children. When she decided to remarry, she and her fiancé had an open and respectful conversation. Together, they worked with an attorney to draft a prenuptial agreement, define financial boundaries, and update their estate plans. As a result, Eleanor felt secure, not just in her new relationship, but in knowing her legacy would be protected. Legal conversations may feel uncomfortable or unromantic, but they are essential. They safeguard not only your personal assets and healthcare preferences, but also the peace of your family after you're gone. Truth 5. The definition of happiness changes with age. In our younger years, happiness in marriage often centered around building a future, starting families, growing careers, buying homes. Love was about building something new together. But after 60, the definition of happiness evolves. It's no longer about building, it's about maintaining peace, enjoying life, and finding deep fulfillment in the life you've already created. Many people mistakenly believe that remarrying will automatically bring them joy. But true happiness at this stage of life looks different, and understanding that difference is crucial. For some, happiness means having a companion for day-to-day life, someone to share meals with, to travel with, or simply to sit quietly beside. For others, it means preserving a sense of independence while enjoying a partner's company during special moments. Still others find joy in maintaining their lifestyle and personal space without major changes or compromises. The biggest mistake individuals make is assuming that marriage will fix loneliness. While companionship is beautiful, it's important to recognize that fulfillment must come from within first. Marriage cannot be a cure for unhappiness. If someone isn't content on their own, a new relationship may not deliver the peace they expect, and could, in fact, introduce new frustrations. Lifestyle compatibility becomes another critical factor. By the time people reach their 60s or 70s, they often have well-established routines, morning rituals, preferences for social activities, travel styles, financial habits. When two people with very different lifestyles come together, small differences can create big stress. One may love spontaneous travel, while the other prefers the comfort of home. One may thrive in a busy social life. The other may treasure quiet evenings alone. Frank, 72, experienced this firsthand. After marrying a lively, adventurous woman, he found himself overwhelmed by constant travel plans and social events. What he had hoped would bring comfort instead disrupted the simple, peaceful life he loved. Before remarrying, it's vital to reflect deeply. What truly makes you happy now? Are you looking for someone to fully share daily life with, or someone to meet occasionally for companionship? Are you willing to adjust long-held routines? And if so, how much? There is no single right answer. The only right path is the one that aligns with your personal vision of happiness, not what society expects and not what worked for you decades ago. Remarrying after the age of 60 can be one of the most rewarding decisions of your later years, or one of the most complicated. Whether it brings deep fulfillment or unexpected challenges often comes down to one key factor: preparation. Throughout this discussion, 5 essential truths have been made clear. Financial realities are different. Family dynamics can grow more complex. Emotional expectations have shifted. Legal considerations cannot be ignored. The definition of happiness has evolved with age. Too often, individuals overlook these realities until they are deep into a second marriage and facing tensions they never anticipated. Yet, with careful thought, honest conversations, and the right professional guidance, it's entirely possible to create a partnership that honors both your heart and your hard-earned peace of mind. Marriage in later life isn't about replicating what was done before. It's about making deliberate, thoughtful choices that serve who you are now, not who you were decades ago. Some will find joy in legally remarrying. Others will discover that companionship without formal marriage brings more comfort and freedom. Both paths are valid. What matters is that the choice feels authentic to your needs, values, and long-term well-being. If you are considering remarriage, take your time. Consult with financial advisors, estate planners, and legal experts. Talk openly with your family, and more importantly, with yourself. Clarify what you want your next chapter to look like before you invite someone else to share it with you. There is no rush. This stage of life is about embracing what makes you truly happy, secure, and fulfilled. Not what others expect, and not what tradition dictates. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on these insights. May your journey forward be filled with wisdom, courage, and the joy of living authentically on your own terms.